Everyone has seen a John Wayne movie, and though it may seem he's a real cowboy, I bet he didn't even know how to correctly saddle his horse. So how do you correctly saddle a horse? There are several steps in preparing to saddle your horse. And I'm Abby Carter, and I'm going to tell you these steps. First thing you must do is groom your horse and inspect for sores. The most popular time to ride is during the spring, and that's when the horses have just gotten their winter hair and they're shedding. So before riding, it's best to lose any hair with a shedding blade and removing it. If it's been a while since you rode, you need to make sure to clean out his hooves with a hoof pick. Make sure to get any rocks or dirt out of the hoof, and pay special close attention to any cuts or swelling where the saddle or bridle will fit. If so, it's just best not to ride. After you've groomed and inspected your horse, you move on to the next step. Putting on the bridle and saddle is not as complex as it may seem. You'll want to begin by placing the bit in the horse's mouth. Next, you'll need to put the headpiece of the bridle over the horse's ears. When you buckle the throat latch, make it loose enough to where you can place 4 fingers between the throat and the throat latch. Next, you'll buckle the chin strap. Don't make it too tight. You should be able to fit 2 fingers underneath it. You don't want to make it too uncomfortable for your horse. Now begin with the saddle. The first thing you need to do will be to lay a saddle blanket on the horse, right below his shoulders. Very carefully place the saddle directly in the middle of the saddle blanket. Buckle the girth next. This should be very tight and will loosen over time. During your ride, you should check the girth and make sure it's very tight. Then you'll pull the reins over the horse's head and secure them over the horn of the saddle. Always be sure that you get on the left side of the horse. Most horses are trained by the left side and are more comfortable with that. Once you've finished your ride, there are several things you must do before you release your horse back into the pasture. After the ride, take off the saddle and you'll need to groom again. Make sure you look for any sores or anything that you've seen during the ride. After you've successfully removed the saddle, it is time to groom your horse again. If the weather is warm, you may use room temperature water to wash him off. I recommend you use mane and tail shampoo and conditioner. Apply this on the horse's mane and tail to help keep the tangles out. It is very important to make sure your horse is cooled off from the ride and try your best to get any excess water off. Use a curry comb to brush him off. Then you should check hooves for rocks so bruising doesn't occur. Then when you're finished, you can lead your horse back into the pasture. As you just heard, there are many steps in preparing your horse to ride. Everyone seems to think having a horse is easy, but if you're going to make it your horse, you have to spend lots of time with him for him to trust you. Trust isn't the easiest thing to earn, but it is the best thing to have when riding. A saddle isn't going to keep you from getting thrown off. Trust does that.